It's a beautiful day today and we're reading some more Am I the Devil? So more Am I the A-hole posts where people have marked every post as the a-hole. And yeah, I'm excited to get into this and I hope you guys are too. Let's read some horrifying stuff. Am I the a-hole for wanting my son to have a more traditional wedding to reflect on his career choice? I had a complicated birth with my youngest son, Matt, and I've always had high expectations for him. Matt is still in law school, but is still insisting on getting married this October. I'm not the biggest fan of his fiancée Amy's ideas for her wedding. She decides that she wanted a Halloween marriage, and Amy doesn't care how that looks in front of Matt's peers and professors and other people in his conservative field once he's done law school. Amy picked out a black dress and somehow got it in her head that she wants to wear ruby slippers to the wedding since she loves Wicked. I've repeatedly tried to tell Amy to have some respect for Matt's future field, but Amy thinks it's okay because she does marketing and some of her co-workers are coming to this disaster of a wedding. My oldest daughter dropped out of being a bridesmaid before Amy wanted them in a red dress, and my daughter thinks that Amy is being tacky and Matt still won't do anything about the wedding and still won't make it more traditional. I tried to talk to him again after the ruby slippers issue, and he told me that maybe if his wedding stresses me out so much, I should skip it. I tried explaining that this kind of tackiness can backfire on his career because when he has wedding pictures up, people are going to notice his bride in a black dress and they're going to question his integrity as a lawyer. Matt told me that I'm going to be uninvited to his wedding if I continue to make a scene, but I'm only trying to help people see him in a better light. Wow, that's so frustrating. Oh my god, how dare you have a personality? Like a lot of comments are saying, it's not a bloody networking event, it's a celebration of their love as people. Who cares about the bloody co-workers? I'm sure people would love it, and it is not going to hurt business. The top comment says, you the a-hole, I'm a lawyer, and it sounds like you'd be shocked to know how much we appreciate people with personalities, especially in this field. It actually is the primary way that I've been able to progress. I'd love it if a co-worker had a Halloween wedding. That sounds so fun. It's not a damn networking event, it's their special day to celebrate their love. Your views are utterly archaic and you have no right to voice them with the intention of modifying a day that's not about you. You sound like my parents who practically burst into tears because I got a tragus piercing and they sobbed that I would never be able to find a job or be taken seriously. Yet here I am in a more professional role than either of them, and with even more piercings. Yeah, definitely. And I don't even feel like it's about that. I feel like OP just doesn't like it and it makes them uncomfortable. And they want it to be more traditional, but they're trying to say that, you know, it'll be bad for your business. When really, the son just isn't having the wedding that they want them to have. Yeah, like this comment says, this is such a good comment. Info, how does this untraditional wedding impact Matt's future and career, as you say? I don't think future law firms are going to be checking out his wedding album, question his integrity as a lawyer. What? Why would they? It's just that you don't like it. I work in marketing and this has nothing to do with that industry. It's just her personal choice. I've always had high expectations of him, so long as those expectations fit into what I think is okay. No prizes for guessing why Matt fell in love with an alternative woman. Can't imagine. And these comments, you the a-hole, clearly. This is his wedding. Why would he base it off what you want? Have you considered the idea that maybe this is what he wants and maybe he actually has respect for his fiancée and her opinions as well? Why do you care about offending his bloody co-workers if you probably don't even know them? If he invited them, they probably care about him, and hence they want him to do what he wants on his big day, and this is what he wants. He's right, if you aren't going to support him, then stay home. Yeah, and imagine planning a wedding around your co-workers and work. It's kind of sad and terrible that somebody would even think that. Yeah, and I'm guessing it has zero to do with that, and OP just plain doesn't like the theme, so she's throwing a fit and using any excuse in the book to criticize their choices. Story number 2. Am I the a-hole for making my daughter use a broken tablet? Ever since I, 45 male, divorced my ex-wife, 40 female, my daughter, 16 female, and I haven't gotten along very well. I know she's a hormonal teenager, so it's not really her fault that she's so hostile, but she seems to always be upset with me for one reason or another, and this situation is the most recent. The other night I broke my phone, so I went to my daughter's room and I asked her to help me find something else to use. We tend to have old tablets and stuff laying around the house. She was annoyed and told me that she was getting ready for bed, but I reminded her that she usually stays up scrolling after bedtime anyway, so I wasn't keeping her up, and besides, she wasn't even in bed yet. After a bit, she reluctantly agreed to help me look. Eventually, she approaches me with an old tablet, and I thank her for helping me, but when I take it, I say that the screen is heavily cracked. I realize that she brought me a cracked tablet just to be rebellious and punish me, so I calmly tell her that I can't use this and to find something else. She objects, rudely telling me that it still works just as well, whether or not it's cracked, and that she shouldn't have to do this for me just because I broke my phone, especially when she'd just been in the process of getting ready for bed. I was upset by this, and I told her that if she thought the cracked tablet worked so well, she could use it for the night and and that I'd be taking her phone and I wouldn't give it back until the morning. She panicked and reminded me that she needs to listen to music on her phone to sleep, but I told her the tablet would play music just fine. She looked like she wanted to cry and told me that this is why she wants to live with her mum, which really hurt me, but I just sent her to bed knowing that she was exaggerating. I feel like I have to ask though, am I the a-hole here? This can't be real, can it? Of course you're the a-hole, dude. Why do you need reassurance about that? Of course you are. How the hell would your daughter be the a-hole in this situation? Your daughter didn't do anything. And also, why does your daughter have to find you a tablet? Your daughter played no role in breaking your phone, but your daughter has to find you a tablet? And why would you assume that they're trying to be rebellious by giving you a broken tablet? And what, that's why they got in trouble? That's bloody ridiculous, dude. Yeah, this comment. You the a-hole, and extra so for dismissing your daughter's legitimate boundaries as hormonal teenager. All of this is you making your problem her problem, forcing your issues upon her, stealing her sleep aid, and then gaslighting and punishing her for having a normal reaction to your infantile self-centered behavior. Of course she doesn't want to live with you. Yeah, and also this comment. I realized that she brought me a cracked tablet just to be rebellious and punish me, so I calmly tell her that I can't use this and to find something else. Why do you believe that she did this to be rebellious and punish you? Punish you for what? Do you have so many other alternative devices around the house that are in pristine working condition, yet difficult enough to find that you needed to recruit your daughter to track them down? That you knew that you had found multiple options and chose this one solely out of spite? You're being ridiculous. You broke your phone, you couldn't find an alternative, your daughter found something that could do in a pinch, and you punished her for it out of spite? Whenever somebody on AmITheDevil says they calmly said something, we all know that you're lying. After all, you're the one who broke the phone, demanded she focus on finding something else to use, and then punished her for not finding something that met your standards. You also don't say whose tablet this originally was, and had it not originally been yours, you would have pointed that out. You the a-hole, you broke your phone. Take responsibility for it and stop projecting your own spite and resentment onto your daughter. Yeah, could not agree more. Story number 3. Am I the a-hole for not allowing guests to poop at my house? Me, 42 female, and my husband, 49 male, own a home and enjoy hosting friends and relatives. I'm completely disgusted by the thought of other people's poop. The thought of another person that's not me or my husband defecating in my house fills me with disgust and dread and anxiety. As such, it's always been a policy in my house that guests are not allowed to poop in my toilet. I'm very clear on this whenever we have guests over. They're allowed to pee in our bathroom, but that's it. If they really need to go number 2, I just ask that they please go somewhere else to do that. Like where? What are you talking about? I have made this policy clear to all of our guests in the past, and it's never been an issue. My husband has always disagreed with me on this, and I can tell that he thinks I'm being ridiculous, but he doesn't fight me on it. Well, this past weekend, husband and I were hosting friends at our house. Another couple, Courtney 40 female and Mike 41 male. Court and Mike stayed with us the other night after we all had a little bit too much to drink, and they crashed on our couch. Court and Mike have been to our house many times and they're well aware of this rule. That's why when I woke up the next morning, I was appalled to find evidence that somebody had recently pooped in the downstairs bathroom without being TMI. There was that lingering stink smell mixed with Febreze and makings in the toilet bowl. Yuck! This is so funny. Upon discovering this, I immediately felt a sense of panic setting in. More than anything, I was deeply upset and hurt by the disrespect of my guests. It wouldn't have been my husband, as he uses our upstairs bathroom. I angrily marched over to our guest in the living room. Mike asked me what was wrong. I told him I'd just been in the bathroom to get a tissue and that it stunk in there and there was a mess in the toilet. In my anger, I said that I have one big rule in this house, and if they want to act like pigs, oh, how dare you, OP? Then they aren't welcome to stay over anymore. Mike looked confused, so Court fessed up that she really had to go to the bathroom and she didn't think I'd be out of bed for a while. She looked embarrassed and her face turned red. She was initially apologetic, and I admit this was a bit harsh, but I told her that what she did was disgusting, unsanitary, and that it was disrespectful to me to violate my boundaries like that by getting her germs all over my bathroom. The only person being disrespectful is you, OP. Courtney suddenly got defensive and called me insane, and we had a little back and forth before she and Mike decided to leave. She left my house crying. Imagine leaving your friend's house crying because you had to go to the toilet. I can't believe you think this is okay, OP. My husband was irritated with me and said I was being unfair to Courtney and I should apologize, and that I should stop enforcing this rule. I told him that my reaction was fair because she was being disrespectful of my boundaries, and that she could have easily driven 5 minutes down the road to a public restroom but chose not to. We haven't heard from Courtney and Mike since. Am I the a-hole for not allowing guests to poop at my house and calling somebody out for it? Yeah, OP. Oh my god, and you're probably not going to hear from them again. I hope you don't expect Courtney to apologize. How absolutely ludicrous. Apologize to her, OP. I nearly fell out of my chair when you said they were acting like pigs for using the bloody toilet. Like, imagine being that disrespectful to somebody and and then getting upset at them and feeling like they're being disrespectful to you? Nah, OP. This comment says, yeah, you the a-hole, what's wrong with you? People have to use the bathroom, it's a part of life. You can't control their normal bodily functions. It's not acting like pigs, it's a normal function that you seem to have a very odd, very abnormal reaction to. Obviously, you need professional help, but if you won't do that, don't invite anybody to your house ever again. You can't be a good host and the poo police at the same time. Stop terrorizing your guests and just don't invite people to this absolute Stephen King novel sounding house. Wow. Yeah, and then to get upset at them. The audacity. Like, I understand if somebody goes into your house and they use the toilet and like they don't clean it or something, yeah, that's definitely not cool. But this is a ridiculous expectation. And also, you said that your friends had a little bit too much to drink. Oh, so what are they meant to do? Drive somewhere after they've been drinking so that they can go to the toilet? I also really like this comment. You the a-hole, keep this up and you won't have any friends who come to visit. You can be alone with your unspoiled toilets. How would you feel if you were sick? You wrecked your own jacks and your husband called you disgusting. My wish for you, may you have to urgently poop and be surrounded by 100 sparkling clean toilets that you're not allowed to use. Yeah, 100%. I'm hoping this one isn't real. Story number 4. Am I the a-hole for parking in a handicap spot in this specific situation? This happened a few days ago and I still don't know how to feel about it. I picked up some food and decided to eat in my car because, well, I was alone and I don't like eating in public when alone. So I parked my car, but the sun glare was so bad that it was shining directly into my eyes, and I have sensitive eyes. I saw the handicap parking spot was empty, as it almost always is, and I know that spot is shaded, so I parked there and I started eating. I was halfway through my meal and some random lady came up to my window saying that she can't see a tag on my car. I explained my situation. She was together with a wheelchair user person and he seemed understanding, but she immediately started acting offended. She gave me a rant on why I shouldn't park there. In the end, she said because people like me, they have a hard time finding spots. I said there's another empty handicap spot here, plus I'd gladly move my car if she kindly asked me to. She then demanded that I empty the spot now. I said I will and I started moving my car. I didn't apologize because of her attitude. She shouted out, "Wow, not even an apology," as I was leaving. I then stopped and said, "I'm sorry you seem really frustrated, but you can't take all your anger out on me." She cut me off saying, "I'm taking my anger out on you." I said, "Yeah, because I explained to you why I parked here, and now I'm moving my car as you wanted me to. I feel for both of you. Being caretaker must be hard as well, but you don't have to be so hard on me." She cut me off again saying that they're a couple. I'm such an a-hole. It's not that hard to give a proper apology. She can't believe how entitled I am, and she kept on complaining. At this point, I knew there was no point replying to her because she was obviously looking for a fight, so I quietly left. Am I the a-hole? Could you not turn your car around or like reverse into the park that you were already in so your car was facing the other way? I don't understand why you needed to go into a different car space. And it annoyed me how they said that I would have kindly moved my car if they asked me to. Somebody who needs a handicapped parking space should not have to get out of their car and go up to your car to kindly ask you to move. You shouldn't even be there. Yeah, this comment. You the a-hole, you parked in a handicapped spot so you could sit there and eat in your car. You could eat inside. You could take it home. You could park anywhere else. You could have stayed in the spot that you already had and just backed into the spot instead so you were facing away from the sun. Yeah, definitely. Parking in the handicapped spot, of all places, was never an option. Well, like you shouldn't have thought it was an option. Story number 5. Am I the a-hole for wanting to name our baby after my sister, despite my wife being against it? My wife is 20 weeks pregnant with our first baby, and we found out last week that our baby was going to be a girl. I was so happy about it because that meant I would get to decide the baby's name. For context, my wife and I decided when she got pregnant that if the baby was a boy, she would get to choose the name, and if the baby was a girl, I'd get to choose the name. You should be agreeing on a name together, OP. Now, to give some background, my sister and I decided many years ago that we'd name our first babies after each other if her first child was a boy, and if my first child was a girl. My sister's first baby was in fact a boy, and she did name him after me, so I was super excited to name our baby after my sister. I called my sister and I told her about it, and she was extremely overjoyed. I've rarely seen her that happy. I then told my wife of my decision and thought she would be really happy with the name, but she was surprised and seemed a bit sad. She then asked if I could change the name to any other name and that I could still choose whatever name I wanted. I told her I needed some time to think about it. It's been a week and I haven't really changed my mind. I still want to name our baby after my sister. Am I the a-hole? Do you not care about what your partner wants? Oh God. Do not name your child something that your partner doesn't like. Come on, OP. It's not a puppy, OP. And also, why doesn't your wife know about this thing that you had with your sister? Surely you would have been like, oh yeah, you know, my sister named her son after me, and I agreed that if I had a daughter, I'd name my daughter after her. Why did that not come up in conversation? Or did your wife already know about this? But yeah, when a couple is having a child, there needs to be 2 yeses about the name. Do not name your daughter after your sister if your wife doesn't like it, OP. Like, end of story. You don't get to just name your daughter this anyway. And also, why didn't you ask your wife about this before you called your sister? Yeah, the top comment, info. Why do you care more about your sister's feelings than your wife's? Yeah, that's right. It's so strange because they definitely do seem more concerned about the sister than the wife. And like this comment says, when I read the title, I thought that your sister had passed and you wanted to name your child in honor of her. I was surprised at your pact with your sister and naming your children after each other. To be honest, I find it a bit weird and I don't think I'd be comfortable doing this either. You the a-hole, a name requires 2 yeses. Yeah, I'm happy I'm not the only person who thinks it's weird. Like, that sounds like something that you'd promise to each other when you were kids, but you wouldn't actually do that, you know? But yeah, your wife has said that she doesn't want this name, so do not name them after your sister, OP. It's not solely up to you. And also, you shouldn't want to name your child something that your wife doesn't like. But also, it's kind of stupid how you guys were saying that if the baby was a boy, she would get to choose the name, and if the baby was a girl, I'd get to choose the name. Like, that's so silly. You both need to agree on a name, OP. Don't really understand the point of that either, because all that does is set you up for arguments and issues like this, where your wife doesn't like the name or you don't like the name, but you're like, oh, well, you said I could choose it, so I get to choose it, and then it just starts issues, when you could have just agreed on a name together. But yeah, especially in this situation, OP, your wife is uncomfortable with the name, therefore you can't use it. Story number 6, am I the a-hole for telling my husband that it's embarrassing that he wore pajamas while sitting on our front porch? For context, my husband, both mid-30s, has never cared for appearance much, whether it's how he looks or how his house looks or how his car looks. He just doesn't care. He'll wear jeans with holes in them, shoes that are ripped apart, his long hair will be tangled and unbrushed and unparted and wild, and his shirts will have stains all over them. It's hard for him to find something nice to wear for us to go out to eat. I've hated it for the decade plus that we've been together. I'll buy him new clothes and shoes just for him to ruin them almost immediately or lose them somehow. I'll try to hint or tell him to brush his hair and he'll just joke that he likes it that way and not do anything about it. I've never gotten mad at him or anything because it's his life, but it's really embarrassing in public and it makes me not want to be seen with him sometimes. My husband's been out of town for a week and we didn't get home from the airport until after midnight, and our toddler woke up early, so I got up and let my husband sleep in. He still got up early anyway and in a weird mood. When our kid went down for a nap, we went on the front porch at around 11 a.m. for a smoke. We live on an oddly busy but quiet street with a lot of nosy neighbors, and this is a time when a lot of people are out and about. We live in the south and people always wave and possibly chat. We'd normally go at the back, but our annoying neighbor was back there next to our porch, so we opted to go out the front instead, hoping for peace. My husband goes out with wild hair, a tie-dye shirt, and bright blue and plaid pajama pants. I made a kind of joke like, bright pajama pants, eh? And my husband says that I'm wearing sweatpants and it's the exact same. This comment seemed kind of combative and just annoying, to be honest. He always has some reason why he shouldn't have to wear any sort of semi-normal clothing. We got into a spat and it ended up devolving into sweatpants and pajamas being the same, with me getting pissed saying they're absolutely not the same. That's when I said it was embarrassing when he wears things like that. He told me that I should have told him that we both needed to change because I'm embarrassing too by wearing sweatpants and a hoodie outside. This set me off a little and I honestly refused to back down. I told him he's being absolutely ridiculous and that this is typical of him refusing to just admit things or trying to actually reflect on things and instead blame me or make it about me coming at him. I mean, I get that it's our house and it technically isn't noon yet, whatever that means, but I'm appalled that it devolved into pajamas and sweatpants being the same. It's like he flipped it back on me or something and it really upset me, and he's really upset with me. We're not speaking right now. Stupid, I know, which makes me feel like I should have just let him wear pajamas and not said anything to begin with. So am I the a-hole for even saying it to begin with? Okay, I can definitely understand that you're frustrated, OP, and from what you've said, this stuff does bother you a lot over the, what did you say, decade plus that you've been together, but you were being just as combative as they were being, OP. Yeah, literally, the top comment. I made a kind of joke like bright pajama pants, eh? And my husband says that I'm wearing sweatpants and it's the exact same. This comment seemed kind of combative and just annoying. How do people manage to type this sort of thing and not see the irony? It's literally you saying that you made a combative and annoying comment and then calling his reply combative and annoying, as if you didn't just provoke it by doing that exact thing. You the a-hole. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That is super combative and also so passive aggressive. Like, there's a lot of resentment for your partner here and you can definitely feel it, but also from a different perspective, I don't understand how, if you've been talking about this for over a decade and you've voiced your opinion that it upsets you that he doesn't put much effort into his appearance, I don't really understand why he wouldn't try to put more effort into his appearance, but at the same time it sounds like he's always been like this, and that's an entirely different conversation. Like, I'm assuming you've actually sat down with him and had a serious conversation about it. There's a comment here that says, you said that he's been like this for 10 plus years, the whole time that you've been together, and that you've always hated it. Why would you marry him if there was something this important to you that you didn't like about him? If you're embarrassed to be seen in public with him? Further, if he's always been like this, why would you choose the morning after a long day of travel for him and a bad night of sleep to pick a fight about something that he's been doing for the entire time you've known him, I bet that you thought you could change him, and or that it's really not as bad as you describe it in the first place. But if it really is as bad as you say, why does the color of his pants suddenly take precedence when he's outside for 10 minutes? Why is that the hill you choose to die on? You the a-hole? Yeah, definitely. I'm trying to imagine if I was the guy in this situation though. I feel like if I knew that it upset them this much, I would definitely try to put more effort into my appearance. And on that note, I feel like that's enough for today. That was such a fun episode and I hope you guys enjoyed it, but we definitely need to read something wholesome. Men live like this and see no issue. You need to pick a less appealing image to make your point because this is raw as hell. Yeah, what's wrong with this? That looks amazing. Actually, I feel like I'd prefer this. With the pizza too? Hell yeah. One act of kindness can change your life. A homeless man gave this student his last £3 so that she could get home. Student raises over £21,000 for homeless man who offered her £3 so she could get home safe. Wow. That's so beautiful. Yeah, like the top comment says, practice random acts of kindness. It makes the world a better place. Definitely. Wow, that's so incredible. When you get rejected by your crush, but she ends up becoming an amazing friend. A blessing from the Lord. Oh, that's so cute. Are you listening, nice guys? Okay, that's enough for today. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you had a wonderful time. And if you did and you want to see more videos like this, make sure you like and subscribe. And the comment of the day goes to the Theron native. Every time you say like and subscribe, my fantasy-obsessed brain hears a like and subscribe, like you're commanding all the werewolves in your audience to subscribe. Oh my god, that's so funny. I'm definitely doing that. Any werewolves at home, please subscribe. That's such an awesome comment. I wish I'd actually been saying that this entire time, but in reality, I'm just not very good at saying words. That's so funny. I'm gonna think about this in every single episode now. Okay, I'm out of here. Thank you for the support, guys. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every single day. Bye!